Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. It starts in a terrible place, Chicago Fire Season 13's potential character exit, and Boden's return addressed by Eamonn Walker. New episodes of Chicago Fire air Wednesdays at 9 p.m. ET on NBC, following the lives of the firefighters and paramedics who work at Firehouse 51. Season 13, Episode 18, titled Post-Mortem, premieres April 16 and will see Eamonn Walker reprise his role as Wallace Boden. The official synopsis reads, Deputy Commissioner Boden returns to Firehouse 51 to investigate a disastrous firefight and the surrounding mystery that left one of their own in peril. Pascal has taken over as chief in Boden's absence, and Walker shares that the team will be surprised when their former leader returns. However, there's much at stake in the upcoming installment, leaving little time to catch up. With the deputy commissioner forced to investigate his firehouse family, Walker warns that Chicago Fire could lose another cast member. Screenwriter interviews Eamonn Walker about what Boden's return means for the first responders at Firehouse 51, and if fans will see the deputy commissioner in future Chicago Fire episodes. That goes into my next question. What is the dynamic going to look like now that Boden is deputy commissioner instead of their chief? I'm curious what Boden might think of Pascal as the new fire chief, especially because he wanted Herman to step into that role. Led by Lieutenant Kelly Severide, Taylor Kinney, Rescue Squad 3 works closely with Lieutenant Christopher Herman, David Eigenberg on Engine 51 and Lieutenant Stella Kidd, Miranda Ray Mayo on Truck 81. Their tireless, never-give-up mindset brings them all closer together, and the men and women of Firehouse 51 are more than co-workers, they're family. The firehouse is under new leadership with the addition of Chief Dom Pascal, Dermot Mulroney, who has huge shoes to fill after years of guidance under the calming hands of Wallace Boden, who was elevated to deputy commissioner. Pascal, who has spent the last decade as chief in Miami, has a completely different style, which may rub some the wrong way. What is clear at the outset are his skills and ability to stay dead calm in the face of crisis, and his goal remains consistent in keeping the house running smoothly and his firefighters prepared to overcome all adversity that may come their way. It starts in a terrible place, the kind of place where soot still clings to the walls and memories burn longer than flames. Firehouse 51 has seen many such moments, but this time the air feels heavier. As Season 13 opens, the quiet is thick, and the beds in the common room go unslept. The brass pole is polished, but untouched. No one is sliding into the chaos just yet. That comes later. Chief Wallace Boden, now back in Chicago after a brief but emotionally grueling assignment in Washington, D.C., stands at the threshold of his own firehouse, the place he helped build, brick by invisible brick, with sweat, integrity, and hard choices. But this place has changed, and he knows it the second he steps through the bay doors. Eamonn Walker, who plays Boden with the commanding presence of a general and the warmth of a mentor, recently spoke on the upcoming season. It starts in a terrible place, he admitted in a candid behind-the-scenes interview. It's going to be a hard goodbye for someone, the kind that shakes everything. Rumors swirl as they always do. Fans speculate. Is it Ritter? After that terrifying close call last season, could it be Kidd, now struggling to hold the team together with Severide still chasing dangerous arson rings? Or is the show bracing for something even more shocking? The exit of Joe Cruz. Walker doesn't confirm who might be leaving, but the sadness in his voice tells its own story. The firehouse is a family, and like every family, you grow, you grieve, and sometimes you lose someone who meant everything. In Episode 2, we learn that Cruz has been offered a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to head a new firefighter training initiative in Denver. It's prestigious, it's well-earned, and it's far from home. The decision doesn't come easy. Boden's return is meant to anchor the team again, but instead it throws Cruz into deeper turmoil. You're back, Cruz says, barely meeting Boden's eyes, so I can go now, right? Boden doesn't answer right away. He's never been a man to force fate, but his heart aches at the thought of losing Cruz, the kid who once nearly gave up but grew into a leader, a father, and a brother to every soul in that firehouse. Kidd sees it too. She tries to play it cool, but her worry bleeds through. What if it's the right thing for him? She asks Severide, who's just returned from his own off-screen absence. What if we're holding him back just because we don't want to feel the hole he'll leave? Severide nods but says nothing. Sometimes silence is heavier than smoke. Boden, meanwhile, holds court in his old office again, but nothing feels familiar. Even the chair squeaks differently. His inbox is filled with deferred decisions and half-done reports. But what weighs more is the envelope on his desk. A letter addressed to the commissioner from Crows himself, unsigned, a draft of goodbye. Eamonn Walker reflected on the layers of Boden's return. He's carrying a lot, he said. He went to D.C. to fight for funding, to bring more support back to the field. But what he returns to is a firehouse in emotional triage. And he has to decide, does he lead by holding on or by letting go? The writing this season is nuanced and emotional. Scenes between Boden and Crows carry a weight that suggests closure. In episode 5, they share a call where a child is trapped in a burning high-rise. Crows rappels down 7 stories with nothing but rope, sweat, and prayer. It's a signature moment, a reminder of who he is and why he does this. Afterward, they sit on the back of Engine 81 as the sun rises over a soot-streaked skyline. "You're ready," Boden says finally. Crows nods, tears in his eyes. "But I don't want to leave you." "You're not," Boden says. "You're just making room for someone else to grow." The show doesn't rush the farewell. It gives space, for characters to reflect, for fans to brace. Episode 8 becomes a send-off, not just a departure. Mouch throws a barbecue. Kid makes a speech. Gallo writes a song, badly. And Boden, in a rare moment of open vulnerability, tells Crows, "This house was always stronger with you in it, but now it gets to carry your legacy." Backstage, Eamonn Walker admits this is one of the hardest storylines he's ever had to play. "I've said goodbye to a lot of characters over the years," he said, "but Joe Minoso, who plays Cruz, he's not just a colleague, he's family." But Walker also hints at renewal. Sometimes he adds, you have to clear space for new energy, for new voices. That's what keeps Firehouse 51 alive. Indeed, as Cruz prepares to leave, a new recruit is introduced. A quiet, capable paramedic who once trained under Brett, and is now returning with scars of her own. Her name is Eva Santos, and her arrival brings a flicker of curiosity back into the station. She doesn't try to fill anyone's shoes, she brings her own. As season 13 moves forward, the focus isn't just on loss, it's on the difficult beauty of transition. Boden, grounded once again in his home firehouse, leads not from command, but from compassion. The team feels older now, a little more worn, a little wiser. The final moments of Cruz's farewell are underscored by a familiar song, a subtle nod to Otis, who once left a similar hole. As Cruz drives away, his son Otis Jr. asleep in the back seat, he doesn't look back. He doesn't have to. Firehouse 51 lives on, changed but never broken. And Boden, standing at the window with the city spread out before him, finally exhales. It starts in a terrible place, he says, almost to himself. But it doesn't end there.